The hum of the refrigerator was the only sound in the room, a low, constant drone that seemed to amplify the silence between us. I stood there, heart hammering against my ribs, the words I had just spoken hanging in the air like a thick, suffocating fog. "I'm having an affair," I'd said. I braced myself for the explosion, for the shouting, the accusations, the inevitable storm of a marriage collapsing. I had played this scene in my head 100 times, and in every version, my husband, Mark, erupted. But the man standing before me did none of those things. He just looked at me, his face an unreadable mask, and then he slowly, deliberately, turned back to the dishes he was washing. The clink of a plate against the rack was louder than a gunshot in the stillness. Days turned into a week, and the silence persisted. It wasn't an angry silence, not the kind filled with slammed doors and heavy sighs. It was a calm, unnerving quiet. He would greet me in the morning with a simple, "Good morning," pour me a cup of coffee, and ask if I had slept well. He'd leave for work, come home, cook dinner, and we'd eat, the space between us filled only by the sounds of cutlery on ceramic. He never once mentioned my confession. He didn't ask who it was, or how long it had been going on. He didn't ask why. It was as if I had told him the weather forecast, not shattered the foundation of our 10-year marriage. This calculated calm was far more terrifying than any rage I had anticipated. My affair, which had once felt like a thrilling escape, a secret world of passion and excitement, began to lose its luster. My lover, Ben, was everything Mark wasn't: spontaneous, fiery, and emotionally volatile. Our time together was a whirlwind of intense highs and dramatic lows. But now, when I was with Ben, Mark's quiet composure haunted me. Ben would get jealous, raise his voice, demand to know why I seemed so distant. His predictable anger, the very thing that used to feel like passion, now just felt exhausting. I found myself comparing his chaotic reactions to Mark's steady, quiet strength. Mark's silence wasn't weakness, it was a fortress, and I was on the outside, looking in, realizing I had given up the key. I started trying to provoke a reaction from Mark. I'd come home late, smelling of Ben's cologne. I'd leave my phone unlocked, with messages from him clearly visible. I needed him to get angry. I needed him to fight for me, to show me that our marriage was worth fighting for. But he never took the bait. One evening, he saw a message from Ben pop up on my phone. He simply picked it up, turned the screen away from me, and placed it face down on the counter. "Dinner's ready," he said, his voice even. My heart sank. His lack of reaction wasn't indifference. It was a decision. He had already processed the betrayal and was moving on, with or without me. The fight I was looking for had already been lost, because he had refused to even enter the ring. The realization hit me like a physical blow. The power I thought I held, the power to destroy him with my betrayal, was an illusion. His calm wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a declaration of his own self-worth. He knew his value, and he wasn't going to let my actions diminish it. He wasn't going to let me drag him down into a screaming match. His silence was his final word on the matter. It told me that he was done, that he was choosing peace over the chaos I had brought into our lives. He was letting me go, not with a bang, but with a quiet, dignified release. One Saturday morning, about a month after my confession, I woke up to find him packing a bag. Not his clothes, but mine. He had neatly folded my favorite dresses, my jeans, the sweater he bought me for our anniversary last year. He placed them gently into a suitcase. He didn't look at me. "I think it's time," he said, his voice soft but firm. "I've rented a small apartment for you downtown. The first 3 months are paid for. It'll give you some space to figure things out." There were no tears, no pleading, just a quiet finality. He handed me a key. He had systematically dismantled our life together while I was busy seeking drama elsewhere. He had planned my exit with the same care and precision he applied to everything in his life. I tried to argue, to apologize, to finally have the fight I'd been craving. "Mark, please, let's talk about this. Don't do this," I begged, tears finally streaming down my face. He finally looked at me, and for the first time, I saw a flicker of the pain I had inflicted. But it was distant, like a storm on a far-off horizon. "We did talk, Sarah," he said calmly. "You told me what you were doing. I listened. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to break things. That's not who I am. I respect myself too much for that. And frankly, I respected our marriage too much to let it end in a shouting match." He zipped up the suitcase and placed it by the door. His calm was my undoing. I had expected to break him, but in the end, his unwavering composure broke me. I saw the affair for what it was, a selfish, reckless act of a person who didn't appreciate the steady, quiet love she had at home. Ben's fiery passion now seemed childish compared to Mark's mature strength. I had chased a firework and let a star burn out. I wanted the drama, the explosion, the passionate fight to win me back. Instead, I got a quiet, dignified goodbye. Mark's silence wasn't a lack of love. It was the ultimate act of self-love. It was his way of saying he deserved better. And in that deafening quiet, I finally had to agree with him. Standing in the empty doorway of my new, sterile apartment, I understood. The loudest screams often come from a place of desperation. True strength, true power, lies in the quiet confidence to know your worth and to walk away from anything that seeks to undermine it. I thought his anger would be my punishment, but his calm, his silence, that was my true downfall. It forced me to face myself, my choices, and the good man I had lost, not through a fiery battle, but through a quiet, devastating checkmate. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that explores the complexities of human relationships. Your support means the world to us. Stay safe and take care.